of course, advertising and communication has been so sort of dominated by this very sort of high status that sort of filmic stories have in culture, and have adopted storytelling as a means to message people, tell people about their products, get people to kind of connect with those things. Some more stories. Obviously, one of the stories that resonates with me the most, the coffee, the gold blend love affair. So everybody remembers this more than like whole seasons of quarreling and stuff. It was like the whole nation was kind of waiting for them to fuck. And even the tabloid. I remember the tabloids like writing about it. They're going to fuck today, tonight. In the thing, it's like it's all inferred, but they've done it. And obviously, the book as another sort of symbol of stories that again is very sort of central to, and particularly British culture as well, which with an incredible kind of legacy in literature, really kind of giving this enormous kind of status to the process of writing books and being an author and being the sort of controller of this art form that permeates so much of our lives. The reason for that, it's not just that, it's very easy to sort of obsess about, and I think this is where the argument gets a bit untangled. It's really easy to obsess about the format issue. I think where this comes from for me is that, you need to a certain extent, you need to put stories, and this comes from my sort of artistic background, I think, you need to put the kind of formats aside to one side and understand what's really at play. And I think the reason why stories are so important is because it's really about meanings, the transference and conveyance of meaning. I've got young kids, and here's a scene of young children listening to stories. It's commonplace, it's practiced, global, worldwide, all cultures. Storytelling is an important part of growing up, and the reason why that's true is because we understand our world through stories. We can't connect things logically. We can't, you put a spreadsheet. I try to put spreadsheets in front of my son to explain the world, and it switches off really quick. But this doesn't necessarily have to lead to novels and 3-hour epic movies. But the process of storytelling is not it's not limited to those forms. And I think this is, we're having a chat earlier about, some of the sort of arbitrary occurrences that led to certain formats establishing themselves, like the novel, and obviously, read a lot about vinyl and why we ended up with 33s versus, the other kind of funny format that was a strong contender, that was Polydor's thing, whatever it is. It's sort of quite arbitrary in a way, but then they somehow become sort of precious, and they become constant and solid and unbreakable, and then we all panic when, there's any sort of, how many times have you heard people panicking about the end of the album? Like, it really shakes people to the core that the album might be dead. Well, let's do something different. Let's invite young people in Britain to tell their complex stories. Let's do that. Let's make that very open. Let's create a platform which is called the Team Speech. Let's give it some sort of clear sort of focus and purpose by going up against the Queen's Speech on Christmas Day, just to give it some poignancy and some sort of PR work.
Is there human worship, projected as divine, is hungered for, constructed ages coming for us. We're clutching on to magazines that offer all the tactics to put on the prime, and so we're saving up for surgery, forcing our bodies back through time. While images of youth permeate the city, and they germinate within us, make us pity age and hate ourselves for aging. While 10-year-olds are increasingly impatient for their golden teenage years, desperate for puberty to make them